Hardcore Minecraft is basically a mode in Minecraft you can play to make Minecraft a bit hard, hence the name. It does this by increasing mob spawn rates and tweaking a bit of the mob drops, but this can be achieved by just putting your difficulty to hard mode as well. So instead, it adds the fact that you only have one life, which just makes it even more harder because everything you've done so far could have been lost if you just die once. I mean that a ravine can kill you, so that basically adds to it. So which is why I've made this custom origin so that those of you who like to play hardcore mode can actually and don't find it hard at all, which I'll be impressed if you don't find hardcore mode at all hard. But this origins data pack basically makes it harder. And yeah, this can be played in normal survival as well. So if you want to do that, you can do that. And yeah, before I get into this video, I just want to mention that according to YouTube statistics, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing. We're so close to 200 subscribers because by the time I'm recording this video, we are close to 160. So yeah, just subscribe so that we hit 200. And let's get into the video. Now, moving on to the obvious abilities like these 4 resource bars that I have. I'm just going to be covering those in one setting so that I don't have to edit as much. So the first bar is basically your energy bar. Basically, you gain energy by sleeping, but you only gain 2/3 of your bar when you sleep an entire night. So this energy bar is used for various things like breaking blocks, hitting mobs, and just walking, sprinting, and just staying alive in general. So when you sleep, you gain more energy, which is why I put the moon as an icon. And when this energy bar goes low, you basically gain weakness, and the lower it gets, the more negative effects you get, and the stronger the negative effects become basically. But you can die from the lack of energy, because I thought that would just not make sense, because no one in human history has ever died from not sleeping. So I just implied that and made sure that you don't die from this ability, but you will be pretty useless and you'll get nausea. So yeah, hallucinations are a big part of not sleeping. And yeah, moving on to your next resource bar, it's your water bar. So basically, you have to drink water by staring into a water block and then crouching. While you're doing this, your water bar will slowly recharge, and you can also fill this by drinking water from a water block, as you might have expected. But this also happens when you drink potions, because potions do have water because they're made out of water bottles, so I thought that makes sense. And yeah, when your water bar goes a lot lower, it has to go a lot lower than any other sort of bar, so yeah, that's about it. So when your water bar goes a lot lower, you'll start getting negative effects, and when it hits 0, you start taking damage. And when you die, it'll say that you died from dehydration. Basically, the message that a squid gets when they die. So yeah, you also have this temperature bar, as you might have seen. So your temperature basically increases and decreases depending on certain factors, like whether you're exposed to the sun, whether it's daytime, whether it's nighttime, whether you're sprinting, or whether you're crouching. Yeah, a lot of things. Or whether you're in water, because water tends to be cold, and depending on what biome you are as well. So when this bar gets too low, you will actually get hypothermia, and you'll start taking damage. This can be avoided by wearing leather armor, which will maintain your temperature by quite a bit. If you put on leather armor, when you have a lower temperature, it'll increase your temperature, and when you have a higher temperature, it'll decrease it. So yeah, I thought this would be a nice touch, because it gives leather armor an actual use. Because leather armor is basically the type of armor that you skip over, because if you actually manage to find cows in a survival world, I wouldn't waste that leather on armor because you're gonna get iron armor pretty soon anyway. So wasting it on leather armor is basically just useless. So yeah, that's about it. And so this will give leather armor more use. And yeah, let's move on to the next resource bar, being the health bar. This is basically your first aid kit. Basically, when you have string or white wool, this only works with white wool, not any other type of wool, and it has to be in your main hand. So when I press my primary key while crouching, you'll see that it filled up and it used up the wool. So basically, 1 wool equals 4 string, like in the crafting recipe as well, and you can only use white wool. And why would this be useful? It's because like this adds a game mechanic that makes it so that you can't naturally regenerate health when you're at 5 hearts or below. So if I just give myself the wither effect for a certain period of time, yeah, so this is basically because in real life you actually bleed. So the cells that are trying to heal you will actually be bleeded out. As you can see, it's telling you that you're bleeding and you start taking damage. And even though my food bar is at maximum, it doesn't heal me. So to heal yourself, you have to press your primary key without crouching, and it will use up your first aid bar. And it will basically just give you instant healing for 1 second, which isn't that much, but it's definitely helpful in some situations. This has maximum of 4 charges, as in you have a full amount of, like, you can get instant healing 4 times before this bar runs out, and you have to refill it with using either string or wool. So yeah. Now let's move on to the positive ability. Now moving on to your first positive ability, you have sprinted away. So basically, when you press your secondary key while looking at a chest or a barrel directly, it'll place the chest on your head and you can carry it wherever you want. And when you place the chest down, it'll have everything you stored in it. So this is because in real life you can actually do this. Before I release this origin though, I will make it so that you gain slowness 5 when you actually activate this ability. Because I mean, if you actually run at this normal speed, it'll look like you have no, like, you don't feel any weight. So this is just to prevent that. I'm gonna add that after the video. So if you download this, basically you'll get slowness when you're carrying this. I got slowness because I didn't drink water. But yeah, that's about it. This also looks very, like, it looks a bit, well, you know what it looks like. It looks like the chest is following you for some reason. Yeah, but there is a downside to this, being that if you move extremely fast, for example, if I just go to a bit of a height and then if I fall, you'll see that the chest actually fell on my head because it falls and then it will just place below you. Yeah, you have to move extremely fast for you to actually lose the chest, so I'll be amazed. But as you can see, the chest fell and it will still have the items in it. And yeah, and when you die, if I just do /kill, you'll see that the chest is placed where you died, so you can still store the items in it. And I do not recommend this. This ability was taken from InkBat's Spiritor origin. So she warned that if you place this while moving, you will actually lose the item. So try to avoid moving as much as possible when you're actually using this ability. So don't, when you're placing the chest, you can move as much as you want when you're carrying it, but when you're placing it, just be a bit careful because you don't want to lose all your items. So yeah, let's move on to the next ability. Moving on to your next ability, you have Handy Pouch. So basically, when you press your load activator key, I didn't know that this key actually existed, so yeah, you will get 9 inventory slots that do drop when you die, but it'll just give you extra slots to store your items, which I think is a really nice touch. You also have the adrenaline ability. Basically, if you press your secondary key while crouching, it'll use up a bunch of your resources, like it'll use up water, it'll heat you up, and it'll also use up a bunch of your sleep, and it'll give you jump boost, speed 3, strength, resistance, regeneration 2, and haste for 20 seconds. And it has one minute cooldown, and you do have to have full hunger for this to actually, like above half hunger for this to actually work, and you have to have basically like at least 1/3 of your water bar, and you can't and you have to have 2/3 of your energy bar, so that you can use that to pump adrenaline into your blood, basically using up its resources but giving you a helpful like superhuman strength for a limited amount of time, which is real in real life, because like adrenaline is a real thing if you didn't know. And that's it for this origin, guys. Thank you. If you watched this video until the very end, thank you a lot, and make sure you're subscribed. I really like this origin, like depending on my opinion, because it makes hardcore Minecraft even harder, which was my goal from the beginning, and I think I really did a good job of making that happen. So I'm currently thinking of making some sort of magician origin, or some origin related to magic, because I really like magic, and you guys seem to like it too. So and we're closing in on 200 subscribers, and I thank every one of you for 150 subscribers, which is insane. In the beginning of this month I only had 69 subscribers, so it's insane to actually reach have that more than doubled within just a month. So less than a month actually. So that's just crazy to me. So if you want to support the channel even more, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I'm glad that you guys are actually enjoying my content. That's about it. And if you guys want me to make a custom origin, just leave it in the comments below. I do have some ideas that I want to make as well, so I'm just gonna make those ones first, because I want to have fun making my origins. It's not that I don't have fun making you guys the origins that you guys suggest, but I just want to get a couple of things out of my head. So if I don't make your origin right away, don't worry. I might actually miss some origins, but for the most part I'm going to be trying to do as many as I can. So that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, see ya.